The boom in artificial intelligence has been lauded by many for its innovation and productivity gains. But the emerging tech is also stirring fears that it could displace human jobs. Elizabeth Neo is at the Singapore FinTech Festival with more on what some businesses are doing to ready their employees for the new AI era.
Thanks for that, Rani. And indeed, there has been much talk about artificial intelligence and the productivity gains it could bring, especially when embedded in processes and operations. And naturally, it's also raised concerns that some job roles could be made redundant for the banking industry, for example. I've got AI used in risk management, fraud detection, enhanced and more tailored customer experiences, virtually all key aspects of the business. And two banks that I've just spoken to say that their focus is on reskilling their people instead of replacing them. In fact, UOB CEO Wee Cheong said yesterday at the SFF that AI should augment human capabilities and not replace jobs. And I later, just this afternoon, I spoke with Alvin Eng, the bank's head of enterprise AI at its innovation group, and this is what he said.
So it's about repurposing the jobs and not just making it redundant and people just going away. But it's also a sort of two-way thing, right? So that's why we provide the training and the platforms, but we tell our staff, you need to be with us on this journey, right? You need to be one to embrace this technology and learn with us. So we'll provide you the tools to learn.
Do you have a number on how many of these jobs are being repurposed?
So we're looking at roughly maybe say 10 to 15% of the jobs potentially for this initial stage. I mean, we don't have actually the actual numbers. I think it evolves depending on the use cases. But we have been very active in training our people. So for example, just GenAI alone, we have trained over 20,000 people already. Okay. Right? So we have enabled GenAI across the whole bank, in fact. So 30,000 people of our staff, they all have GenAI at their fingertips. So it's a very powerful, so they can play with it every day.
And similarly for DBS, where it last week said it would halt hiring for roles that were likely to be replaced by AI, its Chief Data and Transformation Officer, Nimish Panchmatia, said that it may happen in a few pockets where some roles are actually replaced entirely, and that is because the technology has completely changed the way certain things are done. Here's more on what he said.
Let's start with the premise that AI will replace jobs in its entirety. It may happen in a few pockets. But what AI will do is it will fundamentally change the way work gets done. Right? And that will mean that there are certain things that you're doing today that AI will be able to do on your behalf tomorrow, which means your role will change. And I think that's where most of the change and transformation will happen, as opposed to many roles suddenly disappearing. Now, as you change and AI starts taking away a lot of the stuff that you do, and we believe a lot of the mundane, repetitive stuff will be done by AI, because that's easy for AI to do. And humans will be freed to be able to do creative work, applying empathy and being able to, create experiences for our clients that are, far ahead of anything else.
From your vantage point, what do you see across the industry? Do you see more new roles being added because of the changing jobs that come with AI, or do you see more roles being converted, so kind of like net?
So it's early days, right? What we for sure, the way work gets done will change, and jobs will change. And in that process, some may go away, new ones will be created. But I think in balance, right? If you look at history, every time there's been any such disruption, for example, when email and Outlook and the internet turned up, a lot of people thought jobs would disappear. What happened? If you go 20 years before that, when robots turned up, people thought that manufacturing jobs and factory jobs are going to disappear. They didn't. If you go back 100 years, people thought stagecoach drivers are going to. But what happened? More and more jobs got created. The weaving, the spinning mills in the mid 1800s. So I think it's another cycle. What is important is human creativity has always been ahead of the game, and my belief is that we'll make the adjustments. That maybe pain a little bit in the beginning and all that, but it's a massive opportunity to allow humans to focus on what they're best at, being creative.
of course, both DBS and UOB, they also recognize the value creation from AI. They noted investments in the space is a long-term strategy with the benefits to be realized over the long run as well. So that's just some of the conversations that we've been having right here at the Singapore FinTech Festival, with artificial intelligence a key theme at this edition. And later this afternoon on CNA, we will also look at another big part of the festival this year, and that is stable coins. I spoke with Monica Long, she's president of Ripple, on why the firm is going all in on stable coins and tokenized assets. So for now, it's back to you, Rani.
Thank you, Liz. That was CNA's Elizabeth Nyo reporting live from the Singapore FinTech Festival.